Now, I use the word dream in referring to the universe. However, of course, the universe is not a dream. The word dream has a very flimsy and illusory, low conscious connotation to it that just does not apply here. What we see out here in God's mind is the result of an ultra-conscious manipulation of the essence out of which dreams, universes, and all realities are created. And furthermore, the phrase ultra-conscious manipulation of the essence of reality is just another way of describing a function of our own being after we awaken into full consciousness postpartum from God. That's what full consciousness is all about. It is the ultra-awareness and control of our own mental essence. And realize now that we approach a glimpse of full consciousness every time we fall asleep and dream. When we sleep, our consciousness is no longer being directed outward toward the informational field of God's mind. We are no longer aware of our bodies, nor anything else in God's universe. The five senses of our consciousness that were once deciphering and decoding God's mental holography while we were awake have now withdrawn from God's mental essence and have been redirected inward toward our own mental essence. When we fall asleep and dream, we experience subjective mental phenomena that, relative to the eye of our mind, seems almost as objectively real as the reality we experience out here in God's mind. Now, we cannot seem to control it, but nevertheless, it feels very real and solid to us in there. So to understand what full consciousness really means, you merely have to follow this withdrawing and redirecting of our consciousness process to its next logical conclusion. And that is when our minds totally withdraw from the essence of God's mind through death, where we are no longer sensing or experiencing or connected to the universe of His mental holography in any way via our bodies. We will then retain our total consciousness energy output and direct it fully inward at our own mental essence. And instead of that semi-conscious, uncontrollable voyage into the realm of our dreams that we take when we sleep, we will awaken completely to the inner dimension of our own minds, taking full charge of it. And it is that awakening process itself that is the aperture or portal through which we are delivered out of God's universe. That awakening will represent our second and final birth and the metaphorical cutting of the mental umbilical cord that tethers us to these bodies and to God. Now, in our state of full consciousness in true reality, just as we can right now, we will be able to create absolutely anything we wish out of the essence of our own minds. We will possess absolute dominion and control over every micro and macro aspect of it. However, at that stage of our being, somehow and in some way, everything that we do create within our own subjective realm, we will also experience as being objectively real. Remember, it feels almost objectively real to us right now when we dream. Now, granted, it is difficult to imagine in what context our inner spirit form will move about and interact with our own essence in such a way that will make it appear completely real to us. However, whatever it is, it will be the same context in which God, our ultimate parent and sibling, interacts with and senses the reality of His essence, which forms our universe. So to understand now where this is all leading, we're almost to the crest of that philosophical mountain. Imagine having eternal life while possessing absolute control over every aspect of a closed, subjective reality that feels completely real to you. Next, imagine perfecting the order of that reality as you live billions of years into the infinite future, until reaching full maturity of your being as a sibling of God, a natural life form capable of replicating yourself. Now consider the fact that if the reality that you have created within your own subjective consciousness feels objectively real to you after billions of years of your existence giving order to that reality, then just imagine how real it will feel to your little embryonic offspring conceived within you as they mentally interface with the reality that you have created for them in order to give them life. And indeed, it will be real to them. It has to be. In order to awaken them into life, the reality that you create has to pretty much parallel the reality in which you were awakened. Otherwise, it won't even work. But always remember, and this is one of the primary keys to understanding the feasibility of this concept, that you literally have forever in which to do it. 20 billion years? Fine. 20 trillion years? Again, no problem. There is no pressure, no timetable, no deadline. However long it takes is however long it takes. That's what the gift of eternal life as a child and sibling of the creator of this universe is all about. And furthermore, don't think of it as being some inconceivable task or job that we must accomplish sometime in eternity. Think of it as being the only reason in all reality for possessing eternal life in the first place. If we are to live forever, then we simply must have something logical to do to occupy our time. And the creation and maintenance of a universe is the only thing that can even remotely fill the void of infinite time. It will be the ultimate glorious expression of our own inward creative potential that will eventually culminate in the ability to eternally pass on life to others in the same way that we received it from our progenitor.